Davante, I'm sure you've had a bunch of opposing players and coaches come up and say stuff to you after the game, but have you ever had another team's defensive coverage specifically named for you? And do you think maybe they should have used a different name than your college mascot to keep you out of the end zone?
No, I haven't really. One of the guys mentioned it to me after the game, but yeah, that was the first time that I had or at least known about specific package named after my college mascot. But yeah, I mean, it's a sign of respect, but it definitely was annoying. So hopefully it doesn't happen too much moving forward.
Wes from Packers.com, go ahead.
Hey, Davante, when you walk out there, you go out for that first rep and you see that kind of alignment, just what goes through your mind there? And just what do you think of what you guys were still able to do, with as much coverage as you were getting?
Well, I would have liked it. We could have done more, but obviously it gets tough when they do that. When I saw it early on, I was just hoping it's something that didn't last throughout the whole game. But when I saw that was kind of the direction they were going in, it was just a matter of making it work and figuring it out. I had two different plays. I think one of them where I went in motion across the formation. Two of the guys went with me, and then I actually ended up getting the ball on that third down. So, just finding a way to still win is the most important thing for me. Can't really, say I appreciate it because obviously it says something about what they think about me as a player to go out there and do that. But obviously they were down on their their depth as well. So who's to say if they would have done it had they been a little bit more healthy as far as the COVID situation. Obviously they lost Humphrey earlier in the year in the year before we played him. So a lot of that probably has something to do with it. But either way, I mean, we got to find a way to be productive regardless.
Ryan Wood.
Hey, Davante, is it pretty much like Hunger Games inside the receivers room this week, trying to figure out who's going to catch Aaron's next touchdown with the significance of that ball?
I mean, it's not really something we talk about, honestly. I think everybody's ready to go catch it if they're the one who gets called on. But obviously, it'll be a special moment to be a part of that. But it's not something we talk about too much as Wideouts.
Jason Wilde.
I can't hear anything if you're saying something. I can't hear nothing.
Davante, can you hear me now? I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. You're probably not going to enjoy this question anyway. I understand that it sucks when an opposing defense does what they did and you don't want to deal with it. Aren't you surprised that other teams haven't done that, though, against the best receiver in football? And what is the counter move in case more teams start doing it?
I mean, am I surprised that teams haven't paid a little bit more attention? Maybe. Am I surprised that they didn't do that? No, because that's going to some crazy measures to ensure you get the job done on defense. So I wouldn't really anticipate anybody else doing that, but we'll see what happens, especially with the way teams been kind of losing guys. It's been pretty unpredictable as far as the injuries and stuff like that. But the way you combat it is by just finding a way to the best way to get me in some open field. As far as the way we scheme, and then for me, just capitalizing, continuing to run good routes, and just trying to get open as good as I can in these situations if they want to do that. But it makes it tough. But you can't make excuses. Obviously, the easiest thing would be to find somebody who is getting there one-on-one, or if they want to go three people like what they did a couple of times, then they're 1-on-0. It appears that it'll end up that way. So, but like I said, I don't anticipate it being that way. Cleveland's got some good players, so hopefully they trust their guys to go out there and play well.
Cassidy Hill.
Hey, Davante, saw you coming off the field on Sunday night in the tunnel whistling as you go in to get your celebration hat and t-shirt. I mean, does NFC North Champions just kind of feel like old hat by now? Like it's just another walk in the park?
I mean, not to be disrespectful or downplay it, but yeah, at this point, yeah, it's been it's kind of, that's the ultimate standard at this point. That's we come in, that's our first goal is to get that. And based off, it wasn't like it was a whole lot of drama going into that game. It was just win it and get it. It wasn't, last game of the season, coming down to the very end. So the drama hadn't built up quite the same. And then, like I said, it's just a standard to go out there and win those type of games and put ourselves in a position to, host a home game at a very minimum. So, the whistling, it wasn't intentional. That was just how I was feeling in the moment. And I can't even tell you what I was whistling, but it was a whistling type vibe for me. So I just went with it.
That was my next question, was what song it was. Thank you.
I think I made it up.
Bill Huber.
Hi, Davante. You've talked, 1,000 times how you don't care who the cornerback is across from you, if he's an all-pro or whatever. But what are you thinking when it's a practice squad guy like on that touchdown?
I didn't know if he was practice squad or whatever. For me, it's the same motto as it's always been. It's just I can only eat what's in front of me. So at the end of the day, if it's practice squad, if you're all pro, whatever, I'm gonna try to give you the same work. So I didn't look at it like, oh, he's a practice squad guy that they elevated, so it's time to win on him. I give the guys that are supposed to be guys, I give them more work typically than what I would. Just as far as the effort, obviously that's not me trying to brag about the work I put in, but as far as the way I attack them is typically more aggressive. So I definitely don't discriminate, but anybody can get it.
Stacey Dales.
Thanks, Eric. Hey, Davante, every defensive player I talk to just talks about how ridiculously good your releases are. What is the art of what you do in a release?
It's just the detail. It's the detail, because obviously everybody releases, everybody has different footwork they do off the line of scrimmage, but the difference in what I do is I pay a lot of attention to what all of my movements look like to be able to, obviously if you want to counter off of something you do, if I speed release, I watch myself speed release a million times so I can see what it looks like. So with that, when it's time to fake the speed release, one step jab, and then go back inside, the beginning part, as far as all of my mannerisms and, just my body, my biomechanics, as one might say, I like to marry it up and just make it to where the guy has to just respect every move that I make. And I feel like they, initially got to respect whatever it was. If I take a hard jab in, it looks like I'm really trying to get inside. And I know I've talked to that a few different times, but that's really what it's about. It doesn't really matter how much film they watch, because if I make it look like I want to do something and it's convincing enough, they got to go with it, especially in man coverage. So that's always my goal, is to just fully commit to everything that I do. And if it doesn't work, great, then perfect. We'll get right into the route and then just play fast and still try to win.
MK Burgess.
Davante, you got me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So you've talked about at length about your craft and how hard you put in work at being the top receiver. I'm just curious, what's been the most challenging part of this season for you, and how has that made you better?
The most challenging part, probably just the coverages. I mean, this year, I feel like the deeper in the league, and the more I put on tape, the more teams are obviously doing to try to take me away, getting creative with some of the things that they're doing as far as how many people they're using, leverages they're using. So just staying on top of the game from a mental aspect, just to kind of be able to anticipate what they're going to do and create a plan for that, and also adjusting on the fly. So it's been a lot of that, a lot of communication. It's probably been the most that myself and Aaron, myself and Matt, all of my coaches during the game. It's like an intervention during the game, because a lot of times when we're studying tape, they don't end up doing any games versus me and Aaron, what they would against whoever else that they played it the following week or the previous week. So that's probably been the biggest thing, is just making adjustments on the fly and trying to find a way to go out and still make noise, in the midst of them trying to double and triple and do all this madness.
Mike Clemens.
I was talking to Matt about, on a short week like this, and if you've got some new plays or ones you haven't run in a while or wrinkles in your offensive game plan, I said, I'm sure ideally you'd like to run those on Wednesday or Thursday and one more time on Friday at full speed so you can look at it on tape. And he says, I can't. Sometimes it's just got to be walkthroughs. You're a veteran, but I know you're concerned about everybody. If there's timing with the motions and all that, are you confident that you can do something in a walkthrough and it can be called and executed properly in the game?
Yeah, if everybody's locked in and everybody understands, that's a big thing of the way we install plays. It's not just delivering us a sheet with, hey, here's the plays we're gonna run, and here's the motion or whatever. It's just so much detail in everything we do. So the way we walk through is pretty much full speed, just not the routes. The lines getting up there, doing their thing, having a great get off. The wideouts are getting all of their steps. We're just not sprinting. So the individual time we have to go work on some of the routes, we do a lot of the main things that we have up for that week, or some new wrinkles or whatever. But we got a lot of mature guys who practice really hard. So it's not often we implement a whole new concept or a whole new route that we haven't run before. So a lot of times, all the work we've been putting in throughout the year, it's the same stuff. So timing should be there for the most part, and it's proved to kind of be that way in the games. And anytime your coach takes care of you at this point in the year, you take it and you deal with it and go. And anytime you do have full speed or do have the opportunity to run some routes, you just go run it the best you can then. And if you don't like it, then you can get more from there. But for the most part, like I said, we got the right type of guys that know how to lock in and take advantage of these type of weeks.
Mark Daniels. Mark Daniels.
Next.
Dave Schroeder, go ahead.
Hey, Davante, you got me?
Yep, I hear you.
I remember at this point last year, you had such a laser focus about getting home field and getting the ability to play an NFC title game at home. After going through that last year with that focus and getting it, but not getting to the Super Bowl, how do you approach it this year? Are you still laser focused on it and feel like it means everything? I know this year you would have fans, whereas last year you didn't if you get home field.
Yeah, I mean, the home field is not just for the fans. We obviously love having that element and just being in front of our fans, but just playing in Lambeau is just a different experience. Teams come in and they're not quite as fast, and they might come in and be fast, but we just like being in our home stadium, and just being at home in general just is a more comfortable feeling. So and then you add fans into the mix, and it just makes it that much better. Obviously, hearing how loud they get. Obviously, it's a packed house every time we go in there. I'm always picking out of A, B, and C. I'm always picking the highest one because I always know, how they show up and come to play, especially for those winter type games. So it'll be good, and we're definitely shooting for that. I mean, anytime we can kind of rest our bodies, and it's a long season, so anytime we go in there and we play all these games and we have opportunity to take a week off and just still lock in mentally, watch some football throughout that week. And get paid now. So that's the other part. Before it would suck because you wouldn't get that check, but now you get the check. So it's really just a bunch of good. Guaranteed dub by getting the buy. So we'll take that any day.
Couple more. Mark Daniels, are you with us now?
Yeah, can you hear me, Davante?
Yep.
Sucks about MVS. Hope he's doing well. Just when he's back stretching the field the way you need to and things and making plays. But are you guys just numb to rolling with the punches? And why do you think you can roll through those punches as well as you have all year?
I mean, it's just been time after time where we've really, a couple guys have gotten some experience, just baptism by fire, not really having any other choice. So I think it's good that we've had to deal with some of the stuff that we had earlier on this year, because now, we're battle tested, calloused a little bit. And at this point, so many different guys have had, gotten some experience that maybe they wouldn't have had, to where it won't be a shock if they have to, get called on later on this year or in the playoffs. So it's not the most comfortable thing when you deal with losing somebody, especially, a player that's crucial to your team and what you do and how you function. But, it's allowing some of these guys to get some experience and get more comfortable so that once they get thrusted in at a position, it won't feel as foreign.
Last one, Tom Silverstein.
Hey, Davante, I don't know if I saw this right or not, but I thought there was a third down play where they lined a guy up in front of you and then a guy in like almost a nickel position, up there to help cover two, and then a corner safety on that side of the field. I think it was a third down.
Was it one of these?
I can't see it well enough, but
I
it
don't
definitely
know.
was like three guys over there, right?
Let me see.
I think it was going to the end zone opposite the one you scored the touchdown on.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Let me see if I got it on here anywhere. Was it this one?
Yes, exactly.
That's that one. Huh? Yeah.
That one.
Little
No,
blurry. That's one right
Two.
there in front of me.
yeah,
Two's
Yep.
there. He's right
Right.
over him, just in case. And
and then
then
a safety, right?
that guy back. There we go. That guy there. So 1,
Yeah.
2, and then 3. Yeah.
So my question on that is, in that situation, do you run your prescribed route or do you just try to take those guys out, just go deep and try to take them all out of the picture?
No, yeah. Once they do that, I just start running around in circles. Just do whatever. I just turn it into a playground operation. So that's how they want to do it. I just do unfair stuff too. So I don't even know what route I ran, but I don't think it was the route I was supposed to run on that. So, but in seriousness, I try to do that, but obviously it's a lot of there's a lot going on as far as just people in my way, my path. So a lot of times it's going to be tough running my route, but it's just different, man. So at the end of the day, that's something that we can study and kind of get ready for, if teams are going to do that, so that maybe I can take off across the field. But yeah, it gets real cloudy when people are there's 3 people in your way. You start to run your route.
I think it did open it up for MVS though, didn't it? Wasn't it? Was that the
Yeah.
player who caught it down the middle?
One of them, it did. Yeah. One of the
Yeah.
times. Yeah.